Once it's green, that means it's hot.
One minute. If everyone could please take your seats, we're going to get started, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the school board meeting this Thursday, August 20th, 2026. Before we begin tonight's meeting, I'd like to note that Superintendent Connor is not with us this evening after his father passed away earlier this week. On behalf of the board, we offer our thoughts and prayers to Mr. Connor and his family during this difficult time. Tonight, we have Deputy Superintendent and Chief Academic Officer, Mrs. Rachel O'Day, filling in for the superintendent. She and other appropriate members of the administrative team are available to address any items before the board. As we begin our program, we will open with an invocation. Please welcome Rabbi Michael Cohen from Temple Sinai.
God of wisdom, hope, and peace, as we gather this evening in service to the children, families, educators, and citizens of Sarasota, we pause with gratitude for the privilege of living in a nation where citizens may come together, speak freely, disagree openly, and still work side by side for the common good. We give thanks for the United States, for the ideals upon which our nation was founded, and for the generations who have labored, sacrificed, served, and sometimes given their lives so that liberty and opportunity might endure. Bless our country and all who call it home. Bless our president and the leaders of our nation, our state and our local communities. Grant them wisdom greater than ambition, courage stronger than fear, and humility enough to listen to those whose voices may differ from their own. Bless the members of the school board and all who serve Sarasota County Schools. May their decisions be guided not by anger or division, but by patience, reason, compassion, and an unwavering commitment to the well-being of every child entrusted in their care. Bless our teachers, administrators, staff members, parents, and especially our students. May our schools be places where young people are challenged to think, encouraged to dream, taught to respect one another, and inspired to become responsible citizens of this great nation. And in a time when it can sometimes seem easier to focus on what divides us, renew within us the hope that has always been among America's greatest strengths, the conviction that tomorrow can be better than today, and that together we can help make it so. May we remember that patriotism is more than love of country. It is a willingness to serve our neighbors, strengthen our communities, protect the dignity of others, and leave our nation better for the generation that follows us. May God bless the work of this board, bless the people of Sarasota, and bless the United States. Amen.
Thank you so much. Today, our student representative is Olivia Brown from Sarasota High School. Welcome. She will lead us in the pledge. Please remove your hat and place your cell phone on silent and stand as we, and the Sarasota High School JROTC will present the colors. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sarasota High School JROTC. We are pleased to resume the arts highlight for this school year. Tonight, we will feature the saxophone quartet from Sarasota High School. This group has been playing together for the past 2 years and has performed throughout our community, including as guest artists at the local middle school concerts. The quartet is made up of 2 sophomores and 2 juniors who have developed a strong musical partnership and commitment to performing. Their teacher is Kenneth Carter and Christopher Lepere, I hope I said that right, and their proud principal, Sean Donovan. Performing this evening is Alex Orr, Miguel Mercado, Reed Costa, and David Sanchez. They will perform Pan Am Rag, Movement 1 from the Ragtime Suite by Arthur Frankenpole. Please join me in welcoming the Sarasota High School Saxophone Quartet. Let's give them one more round of applause as they That was beautiful. Thank you, gentlemen. Our student representative today is Olivia Brown from Sarasota High School. Welcome, Liv. It is nice for you to join us as your student rep. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Olivia, and I'm a junior at Sarasota High School. Sarasota High is more than just a high school to me. My great-grandfather went to school there, along with my grandmother, grandfather, aunt, uncle, and mom. Out of college, my grandfather got the opportunity to come back to his alma mater to teach and coach at Sarasota High School. My mom followed in his footsteps and started teaching and coaching there 25 years ago. Once a sailor, always a sailor. When I say I grew up there, I'm not exaggerating. At 7 days old, I came onto campus for the first time while my mom coached in the weight room. Some of my childhood memories include dragging the infield at Ronald K. Drew's field on the tractor with my poppy and tumbling alongside the cheer team at 6 years old. While most young children spent evenings reading bedtime stories, I was there cheering on the sailors. The circus arena holds a special place in my heart. I fell in love with the circus arts in 7th grade. The Magnet program is a unique class that allows kids to develop discipline and drive not only in the arena, but far beyond their high school years. And now I'm currently an ACE student enrolled in 6 ACE classes. This program prepares us for higher education and future opportunities. Sarasota High gives us the ability to personalize our schedules with focus on goals and aspirations. The positive atmosphere built by the staff members creates a welcoming environment for students, and I'm very lucky to be a part of that community. Our school is not just about teaching math or science, it's about building lifelong connections that'll help us develop and grow as people. Sarasota High's culture extends beyond our campus and will continue for generations to come. Due to the support in this room and throughout our community, our high school truly is something special. We don't just go to Sarasota, we are Sarasota. Upon graduation, my plan is to continue my passion for the circus arts and enroll at Florida State University, major in finance and business, as long as I get in. I hope to open a circus training facility that provides therapies for high-risk kids and special needs kids. Once again, I'm so grateful for Sarasota High and our community that provides endless opportunities for all kids to pursue their dreams. Thank you for your time.
Well done. Well, we very much appreciate you joining us tonight. I know my daughter is looking forward to wearing some orange in the future, so I appreciate, again, go Sailors. So thank you so much for joining us. I need a motion and a second to adopt the agenda with the posted additions after the original publication.
I move to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments? Seeing none, if you can vote, and I believe that there's any issue, put show voting on the upper right of your corner. So the system may have a glitch, so we're going to move to voice voting. Mr. Edwards?
Yes.
Mrs. Marinelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Rose?
Yes.
Mrs. Barker?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, and the motion passes unanimously. Moving on to the school spotlight. Tonight, the school spotlight is on Sky Ranch School. I'd like to invite Principal Jamie Hannon to the podium to begin the presentation. With some orange.
Good evening, Mrs. O'Day and board. Thank you for the opportunity to share the story of Sky Ranch School. When we opened our doors last year, we were doing much more than opening a new school. We were building a culture, establishing traditions, creating systems, and bringing together students, staff, and families who were all experiencing something new at the same time. Tonight, I want to celebrate what our school community accomplished during our inaugural year, but also give you a glimpse of where we're headed next. Our first year was about building the storm from the ground up. As we begin year two, our focus has shifted from establishing systems to strengthening them, refining them, and ensuring that our growth continues to translate into exceptional experiences and outcomes for students. Everything we built was with a very intentional mission and vision that was developed collaboratively by our staff. Our mission is that Sky Ranch School ensures high levels of learning for all by empowering a safe school community built on belonging, growth, and united purpose. Those words have truly guided our work. We knew from the beginning that achievement alone would not define our success. We wanted students to walk through our doors and feel that they belonged there. We wanted staff members to feel that they were part of something they were building together. And we wanted families to feel connected to their new school community. Our vision also challenged us to think beyond traditional instruction. We want Sky Ranch to become a premier learning community where students are curious, think critically, solve authentic problems, and have opportunities to apply what they are learning. Our tagline, "We don't just teach STEAM, we define it," represents that aspiration. STEAM is not intended to be one class, one event, or one initiative at Sky Ranch. Our goal is for it to increasingly become part of how students experience learning throughout the school. The mission and the vision became our foundation as we began forming the storm. We opened last year serving approximately 850 students in pre-K through 6th grade. Opening a school that size meant creating virtually every system from the ground up: arrival, dismissal, communication, student expectations, instructional structures, intervention systems, and celebrations, traditions, and countless routines that eventually become part of a school's identity. One of our priorities was establishing consistent STORM systems for success. These are the operational systems that our teachers and staff utilize for every aspect of their role. Our STORM PBIS expectations, safe, thoughtful, organized, respectful, and motivated, gave students common language for what success looks like throughout the campus. Students earned Bolt Bucks for demonstrating those expectations, and we intentionally created opportunities to recognize positive behavior rather than focusing only on correction. But we also knew that a brand new school needed traditions. So while we were creating operational systems, we were simultaneously creating experiences students would remember as part of being the very first Sky Ranch students. That included launching middle school athletics with volleyball, tennis, track and field, basketball, and golf, intramural opportunities, our Storm Squad cheer group, middle school Olympics, and transition traditions such as stepping up for students literally moving upstairs from 3rd into 4th grade. Those traditions matter because they help turn a building into a school community. STEAM was one of our defining priorities of our inaugural year. We wanted students from our youngest learners through middle school to experience opportunities that extend beyond learning from a textbook or a worksheet. During year one, that included our makerspace, school garden, experiential learning opportunities both on and off campus, quarterly STEAM nights for families, and the launch of our TSA chapter. We're particularly proud of our participation in the county STEM fair. Rather than limiting participation to a small group of students who elected to participate, every student in grades 3 through 6 engaged in the process, and that was very intentional. We wanted scientific inquiry, problem solving, communication, and innovation to become experiences available to every student, not just those who already saw themselves as strong in science or engineering. Our experiential learning opportunities followed that same philosophy. We want students to make connections between what they are learning in school and the world around them. As we move forward, our goal is to deepen the work so that STEAM becomes increasingly embedded across content areas and grade levels. Everyone was new. There wasn't an existing PTO, established volunteer network, or a long history of school traditions to step into. Our families helped create those with us. During our first year, our PTO and Weatherman groups became tremendous partners in building school culture and supporting our students and staff. Programs such as Ranch Readers brought community members into the school, while family activities created opportunities for families to form connections with one another. Altogether, we hosted or partnered in more than 30 events designed to enrich student and family experience and support staff. Those events were not simply about filling the calendar. They were about creating belonging. They helped families begin to say, "This is our school." That partnership between school, home, and community has become one of the strengths we want to continue protecting as enrollment grows. Of course, the student experience has to ultimately translate into student learning. Our inaugural year academic results gave us a great deal to celebrate. We finished the year with 89% achievement in 3rd grade, 85% achievement in ELA overall, 89% in achievement in math, and 84% achievement in science. Thank you. Those results are especially meaningful when you consider that our teachers and students were simultaneously learning new routines, forming new teams, establishing instructional systems, and learning each other's strengths and weaknesses. We were also recognized as a PBIS Silver Model School, reinforcing that our academic work was occurring alongside an intentional focus on student behavior, belonging, and a positive school environment. These outcomes give us an important baseline. We are proud of them, but we do not view them as the finish line. They now help us identify where we need to refine instruction, strengthen intervention and enrichment, and ensure that every student, not simply the majority of students, is experiencing meaningful academic growth. Year 2 already looks very different. We have grown from approximately 850 students to more than 1,060, and we are now serving students through 7th grade. That growth brings tremendous opportunity, but it also requires us to be very intentional about protecting the culture and systems that we established during year 1. Our theme this year is Team Storm, Champions of Learning. The focus is moving from building systems to strengthening collective responsibility for student learning. We're expanding student opportunities as well. This year we are adding flag football and soccer, We are strengthening our STEAM focus and expanding middle school course offerings and continuing to build experiences that allow students to find their interest and their place within a rapidly growing school. One of our most exciting new initiatives is the STORM system. The STORM system creates that community within a community, intentionally connecting students and staff across the school and creating additional opportunities for belonging, leadership, recognition, and a little friendly competition. Think Ron Clark Academy House System. Our work this year is centered on refining and strengthening what was established in year one. We will build upon what is working well to make our systems even stronger and more efficient. We will maintain the strong relationships and sense of unity of a smaller school while serving more than 1,000 students. We will deepen our integration of STEAM so that it becomes an authentic and consistent part of everyday instruction. We will ensure that our academic success continues to translate into high levels of learning and growth for every student. And we are incredibly proud of what we built during our first year. But what excites us the most is that Sky Ranch is still very much at the beginning of its story. The foundation is strong, the storm continues to gain strength, and the forecast for Sky Ranch School is very bright. Thank you for your time and support.
Thank you so much, Principal Hannon. Mrs. Barker, you're recognized.
Thank you. I couldn't let you leave without thanking you personally, because I hope you all know what a treasure we have in Jamie Hannon. She leads with integrity and kindness, and she is a steady hand at that school, and we are so incredibly grateful for you.
Thank you, Mrs. Barker.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Excellent. Mrs. O'Day?
Ms. Hannon, you can't get away yet. On behalf of the superintendent and the district team, we are so proud of you. I can remember the day that we met and talked about this position, and because you're such an amazing leader, your heart was where it was at the time, and seeing the future was very difficult at that moment, but we knew you were perfect for the storm, for designing this forecast team, and the hard work and dedication that you put into this. People don't recognize until they've done it, and we know how amazing you are and the culture you built at that school. We are all very, very proud of you. So thank you for taking on this challenge and making Sky Ranch start off with a nice, strong legacy.
Thank you
Great
so much.
work.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to keep you up here, Mrs. Hannon. Come back up. There's more comments. I'll let you know when you're dismissed. No, Mrs. Marinelli, you're recognized.
Thank you. I don't think I can top what you said, Mrs. O'Day, but Ms. Hannon, you and I have known each other a long time, worked together, and I think what you've done to open that school and the culture, it's just amazing. And I don't think I've ever seen you look happier, or even though you work very hard, and I just want to thank you for what you have done, because that's a pretty phenomenal in the growth of the school in a year and the student achievement. So thank you so much, and please extend that to your staff.
Thank you, Mrs. Marinelli. Thank you. And we did celebrate our Counselor 1 Florida Counselor of the Year. That wasn't in my presentation because we just announced it the other day. So we had a lot of you there, so thank you for that.
Mr. Edwards.
So Sky Ranch to me was a fascination because I was there with the shovel in the ground. I watched walls come up with a crane. I went through the process of building the school and watching the building come together. You and I had a great meeting in a portable, but I want to tell you that being there yesterday and enjoying that celebration is that it went from a building to a home. And that is because of the work that you've done and the community that you've built. And I am grateful, and you should be so proud of what you've done and the team you've put together. And congratulations to Michelle Bocock for being Counselor of the Year for the state of Florida, for the whole state. And that also exemplifies the team that you've built and the capacity that you've put together. I'm so, so proud of you.
Thank you so much. I always say I am just one member of the team, and it is all about the adults in the building. So they're rock stars. So thank you for recognizing us.
Well, and thank you. And can you recognize the counselor that was just mentioned? Because that just came out yesterday?
Just yesterday, yes, Mrs. Michelle Bocock.
And that's for the state?
For the state of Florida.
All right,
yes.
we'll give her a round of
applause.
applause.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, you're almost dismissed. You are good. You can walk away, but I thank you so much. I think it was one of the first schools we opened, a new school. It was a very unique exercise, and so being able to build that culture, and I'm really glad you emphasized that, which means everything. And it's been exciting to hear from Mrs. Barker I know that she's a consumer also of it as well, and you guys have done a great job. So keep up the great work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I will now move to the superintendent's report. Mrs. O'Day, you are dismissed officially, yes. Mrs. O'Day.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. I'll start tonight's report with a few consent agenda highlights. Our first consent agenda highlight is focused on our virtual instruction provider agreement between Imagine Learning and the district. And what this partnership allows is for that entity to provide us instructional teaching services and state-approved coursework for eligible students through our Sarasota Virtual School program for full-time students. Imagine Learning has had a very high success rate of anywhere between 90 and 95% completion and success, as well as very high experience outcomes for the surveys that they provide to our parents and families. So we are going to utilize that program and do great things for the students taking Sarasota Virtual School, allowing us to provide excellent instruction through that platform. The next three consent agenda items are focused on data sharing agreements. This first one is with our Laurel Civic Association, and they run after-school programs in the Venice area. And this partnership allows district staff, school-based staff to work with the workers of the aftercare program to support our students strategically, anyone that's participating in that aftercare program. And it is with parental consent always, and for those that are participating, when we share things like student performance outcomes or any other diagnostic information that will allow that team to support their educational needs and also mentoring support. The next two data sharing agreements, one is for Big Brother, Big Sister, and the other is for the Sarasota Ballet, focused on the Next Generation program. And again, very similar. These are renewals from previous agreements, but providing district staff and school-based staff the opportunity to collaborate with those that are a part of this program to strategically support our students. This next highlight is focused on the great first 2 weeks of school. So Mr. Connor and I had the great privilege of visiting many, many schools together within the first 2 weeks. But what was really special was going to Welland Park High School. Obviously our first high school in 25 years, but just seeing those hallways filled with students and everything done, and then making relationships, connections, teachers, everyone was so excited. We even ended the week at a football game that had over 6,000 people there, and most of our district staff was in attendance. And wow, we are off to another great start for our second new school in 3 years. So very exciting at Welland Park. We also were able to visit our 4 new K-8s that are a part of phase 1 of our Future Focused initiative. And that was also a great experience, seeing our inaugural 6th grade class. And you know, what a great experience. If our parents chose to send their children there, they're thriving. We have a small kind of boutique setting happening with great resources, and those leaders and teachers were also very excited to welcome that new addition to their schools. And our next visit was at Gulf Coast Academy of Innovation and Technology. And wow, again, another great experience, partnership with USF. Students were off to a great start working with all the new resources in our new labs. Hands-on learning and machine learning was in full swing that first week of school. And we're very grateful to our teachers and our staff, classified administrators and district staff for the great work that we did in preparing for these openings and welcoming students back. It's always very special when our kids can come back and connect with their friends, their teachers, and get right back to their next step in their educational journey. This next piece is, again, very exciting. I want to thank the Barancic Foundation for sponsoring these celebrations that we were able to have. Once again, Emma Booker Elementary and Booker Middle School are A schools. That is the first time in their history, but definitely a long time coming, and well-deserved work from the leadership to the school-based staff, instructional classified, and the families and students. We surprised Emma Booker with a welcome breakfast in the morning. They thought they were coming in to hear negative news about staffing, ironically. And what a surprise they had with a full service breakfast and great empowering speeches and celebrations that they got to experience. Then throughout the day, they had glow parties and Chick-fil-A for the kids, and that was awesome. And then we went right along to Booker Middle School, and that was a party. Oh my goodness, we have a little snapshot coming next. But they had a great pep rally with all the kids and teachers, dancing, celebrating, playing games. So I'll let you take a sneak peek at this time.
for you to walk the gold carpet, to be adorned like kings and queens of royalty that you are, and to thank you publicly with all of our district staff here for the incredible work you have done.
We are here today as a student body to celebrate the history that we made. We're an A-rated school, and we will continue to be, because we know that we worked hard, we care for this campus, and we give it all we have.
All right, now remember, that was just a snapshot. If you want more, visit the school's Facebook page. There's a lot more pictures and a really awesome video for Booker Middle School. So I invite you to go take another look. And then you heard Mrs. Hannon talk about the great things at Sky Ranch. And once again, Ms. Bocock, she was named the Florida School Counselor of the Year by the Florida Association of School Counselors. And we're so proud of her, all of that hard work in creating that school counseling program, serving K through 6 students. And again, it was something she had to create from the ground up in partnership with her leadership team and the teachers, and she's done an amazing job, and all the kids and teachers and everyone loves her. So we're very blessed to have her there at that school. Excellent job, Ms. Bocock. Next, we are expanding our work with literacy through the Everglades education. And what this does, this is allowing students to learn more about the environment, and the environment particularly in Florida, and how to preserve natural resources, but through a literacy approach, using nonfiction text to build literacy skills, but also deepening their content knowledge on Florida resources and the environment. And that included 213 teachers, 17 schools, 16 professional development opportunities, which resulted in 5 schools being recognized as gold level champions, 5 being silver level champions, and 2 bronze level. So we have more than 200 Everglades literacy curriculum kits distributed to our teachers as well. So it's a really great program that we're continuing in this school year. And lastly, we had an awesome day of giving. This is our school supplies drive that we partner with Carl Reynolds Law Firm and ABC7. Thank you to both of those entities for the work in this, because it was a huge success. We received $26,000 in monetary donations, additional school supplies, and 353 backpacks that were packed. All of those donations made it to schools by the first day of school, so our students had everything they needed in our Title I schools and more, and we have some backup supplies as well. So we're very thankful. Again, this is just another example of the amazing community Sarasota is in the support of our students in our school district, so thank you for that day of giving. It was very successful. And that concludes the report, Madam Chair.
Well, thank you very much. And then we will move now to the, hearing of citizens. The first hearing of citizens segment of our meeting is for public comment on agenda items. Each speaker will state their full name and county of residence for the record, and will have up to 3 minutes. A timer will signal when 1 minute remains. Please conclude promptly when the timer ends. Respect for divergent opinions shall be recognized for all speakers. Audience members are requested to listen quietly and respectfully. Outbursts, applause, or other interruptions that disrupt the meeting will not be tolerated. Any person that interferes with the expeditious or orderly process of the meeting after first being warned that such continued interference will result in removal will be removed. There are speakers in the room behind me that allow board members to hear public comments when stepping away from the dais. When your name is called, please approach the podium. If you choose to pass, you'll forfeit your time to address the board. As a reminder, a recording cannot be played during your 3 minutes of public comment. We appreciate your cooperation, and we will begin with our first speaker, which is Beth Mayberry, and then Deb Hayes.
Beth Mayberry, Sarasota, Florida. Hello. For the last few months, I've been reading with some horror the employee reports being submitted as part of these monthly meetings. It's been well publicized that most districts in Florida are downsizing their staffs and increasing their student-to-teacher ratios to stay in line with the pittance of an increase received in Tallahassee. Our Sarasota County schools cut over 180 teaching positions, with close to 80 other staff positions also cut. This looks to me to be masking an even bigger problem, that teachers and other school staff appear to be leaving in droves. This last month, we saw 120 employees leave through retirement because they found other jobs, or many who simply didn't indicate why they were going. That's almost 4% of our staff in 1 month, with 94 others left over the summer. I don't know if this is just the normal state for our school board over the summer, but losing 6.7% of our staff seems to me to be pretty concerning. And these weren't folks who were let go. They were more teachers who fled employment at Sarasota County Schools to take other positions in Florida education, to retire, or for other personally undisclosed reasons. These reports should be prepared and accessible in an Excel format so that anyone who's interested can cross-reference the number of ESE teachers, arts and music teachers, or core educators we're losing, and their longevity in the district should also be noted. I remember being in a hiring freeze in the past with the district, but I also remember when there weren't nearly enough people filling the jobs that we needed. We need to take care that we can retain the good teachers we have, understand why good teachers are leaving, and be able to hire more good teachers when we need them. While the bright side is that many of the new teachers we had hired, trained, and coached last year were able to be retained, as a district, we need to be looking harder at what we can do to continue to retain our experienced teachers, make these kinds of reports reader-friendly, and look for patterns in employment that might not be obvious. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Deb Hayes, and then Kennedy Cole.
Good evening, board members, Ms. O'Day, Mr. Duggan. Thank you for returning our school board meetings to 6 o'clock so they are available for these wonderful students to be here. My name is Deb Hayes, a Sarasota County resident, and I'm here tonight to speak on agenda item 9.1, which is the approval of a contract for virtual instruction service. I would not only like to affirm the contract, but I also want to point out that Sarasota Virtual School is an extremely fitting school district choice option that meets a wide variety of student needs. It is an option that deserves careful consideration by both students and parents, since it's obviously not for all. It requires maturity, focus, and determination to succeed in a totally asynchronous online environment. But for some students, it is a life-altering choice, which can make the difference in staying in school to complete a high school diploma or opting for lower quality, less respected alternatives. I had the honor of creating the first Sarasota Virtual School before I retired. I found it to be a phenomenal option for some very unique students. Let me explain some of the things we saw in our first graduating class. It was students that had tried other alternatives and found them either disappointing and they were considering dropping out of school at that time. We had one student who was an internationally renowned, equestrian. I had to practice that. Her competitions took her all around the world. Another was an actor that was frequently called out of state to perform in various plays and musicals. Several students had moved into the district and had very specific course requirements to be able to graduate, and the virtual schedule allowed that to happen. And if I recall correctly, I had one student who was an accomplished ballerina, and her training and performance schedule did not allow attendance at a brick and mortar school. At least one of my students had children and needed a freer schedule than traditional school hours would accommodate. Each of those students and others with less unique needs found that SVS allowed them to meet their academic and lifestyle goals. Sarasota has many great in-district choice options, and I'm glad that the provider being contracted tonight has a rich and extensive list of course offerings. I've talked about my experience with the high school students, but I had equally unique needs in lower school, younger students. Thank you for continuing to recognize that one size does not.
Thank you. Kennedy Cole, and then Avery Cole.
Good evening. My name is Kennedy Cole, and I'm the student body president of Booker High School. I'm here to speak today on agenda item 10.1, the proposed teacher raises across the district. I'd be surprised if there was a single person in this room who didn't hold a great amount of respect for our teachers and what they have to endure in our schools every single day. And so I ask this room of teacher lovers, is this really the best we can do? According to the agreement with the teachers union, all teachers and professionals with 10 years of experience will get a raise of $1,200 this upcoming year, with the rest getting a raise of 0.5%. To put it plainly, that's not enough. That's not enough for teachers to move closer to our schools so they don't have to drive an hour plus to their jobs like some of mine do. That's not enough for teachers to quit their second job waiting tables like some of my teachers do. That's not even enough for teachers to cover the school supplies they have to pay for every single year. In fact, most teachers would probably do better playing the lottery once a week every single year than just this $1,200 bonus. And when you take account the tax on the raises, it just makes no sense. My question is, what can this district do to ensure that when it comes time to look at raises next year, there's something better to show for it? Now, this doesn't mean you shouldn't pass these raises. I'll always stand by that something is better than nothing. But how about this district fights back against the voucher system, a drain on public education, which allows us to actually raise teacher salaries across the board? How about this district looks for community partners to help compensate the teachers on their taxes, especially those boosted into another tax bracket because of these raises? Beyond that, let's look outside the box and work with the teachers union to lump this money together and help the teachers even more. How about a fund to help subsidize childcare for teachers that need it? Or how about a fund to help fund school supplies, specifically when it's tax-free, so that way no money gets lost and we can squeeze every precious penny out of these bonuses that we can get. If you'd asked me a week ago, I would expect these ideas to go by the wayside, just like all the other ones the past couple years. But in case you weren't paying attention on Tuesday, I think there's going to be a culture and mindset shift coming to this district, especially in November. So please pass these raises, because our teachers absolutely 100% deserve it. But I'm proud to know that when this issue comes around next year, it won't be the same old tired circus act.
Thank you. Avery Cole, and then Jordani Del Rosario.
Good evening. My name is Avery Cole. I'm a senior at Booker High School, and I'm here to speak on agenda item 10.1. Our teachers are the backbone of our community. Besides from our students, they are the ones in the classroom every day, making sure our students have every opportunity to learn something new. They help us, they listen to us, they make sure we have everything we need, not only to succeed in class, but in life. While our teachers overwork themselves to ensure our students have the best, they are paid the least. I know teachers who stay up late till the wee hours grading papers and answering student emails in order to ensure that they understand the material so they can get a good night's sleep. Our teachers dedicate their lives to our students. They ensure that every single student feels supported, seen, and heard in their classroom. Ask any teacher in this district what they would do for their students, and you will hear the same response. I would fight every enemy and every foe to protect my students. Our teachers dip into their own pockets in order to fund their classrooms and their supplies. They use every single resource available when the situation changes. This item is a step in the right direction. Our teachers deserve more, and this board needs to continue to fight to ensure our teachers have everything they need in order to teach the current and future generations, a goal that I hope will become easier as we move throughout the year and next year. While it may be the second week of school, our teachers have shown that the students and this community, they will ride the waves while the boat rocks, and hope that they'll be given support to guide them into calmer waters in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Jordani Del Rosario, and then Sadie Willard.
Hi, my name is Jordani Del Rosario. I'm a senior at Booker High School, and I'm so happy I can finally say good afternoon, members of the board and superintendent. I'm speaking today in support of agenda item 10.1, the raise for teachers. But if it's okay to speak freely here, a 0.5% raise doesn't feel like enough. I get that we have to start somewhere, but I want you to really think about everything our teachers do for us. And trust me, they put up with a lot. My mom works at a middle school, and trust me, middle schoolers are no joke.
Teachers are not just standing in front of a whiteboard for hours a day. They're planning lessons late at night, grading papers on weekends, and spending their own money to decorate their classrooms so school feels a little less like school. They practice lockdown drills so they know exactly what to do to keep us safe if something ever happens. A lot of them show up to vote in local elections for a school board that's supposed to work for all of us. Teachers are the reason a lot of us actually want to come to school, like my ACE English language teacher, Miss Simon. And I know that any Booker High School student here can say that with everything she does for us, she definitely deserves more than a 0.5% raise. They're the ones who notice when we're having a bad day, who write us recommendation letters, especially for those going into senior year, who believe in us before we believe in ourselves. That kind of care doesn't come with a manual, and it definitely doesn't come with overtime pay. If we want teachers who care this much to stick around in this district, in our classrooms, we need to show them that we care. And that starts with paying them what they're actually worth. So I'm asking you, please don't settle for the bare minimum when it comes to the people who give us so much more than that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Sadie Willard and then Ron Springman.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Sadie Willard, and I'm a senior at Venice High School. I'm here today to speak on agenda item 10.1. I want to start this by saying thank you. Thank you for putting our teachers and students first with this salary raise, even though it is not enough. This has been a long fight, but it is clear that in the end, students and teachers are going to be the winners here. They have been the winners, and they are winners because the teachers of Sarasota County Schools change students' lives. I have teachers at Venice High School that have changed the way I think. They have showed me what a real understanding of literature and the true beauty of knowledge is, especially my IB English teacher, Ms. Gentry, who is one of the smartest, kindest people I have ever met. These teachers deserve a pay raise. They deserved one years ago, but the teachers that will barely benefit from this are our new teachers that have been working for less than 10 years. That is what I don't find acceptable about this agenda item. This raise is a 0.5 increase from a teacher's base pay and an added $1,200 only for teachers that have been working for 10 plus years. And that is because the amount of students lost in this county due to charter, private, and homeschooling. Teachers in Sarasota County share their budgeted pay with charter school teachers, which is an increasing amount as students move from public to charter and private schools. We were told by members of this board at the July meeting to speak to the teachers union about issues with teachers' pay, but I have been informed that this was the best option presented to them they actually had to fight for it in the first place. So clearly the teachers union is not in control of this. I know that the most influential people in my life and many other children's lives have been their teachers, and they deserve to be paid as such. This is a step in the right direction, but not a large enough one. Nonetheless, it is still a step. So for that, I would like to thank all of you. We will continue to have these wins in the coming months because the voices of Sarasota were heard on Tuesday, and our board come November will be filled with ex-teachers and parents, and that is what we are all excited and ready for. Ms. Rose, Ms. Marinelli, and Ms. Ziegler, thank you for your time on this board and for this step in the right direction. Your ICE resolution has changed my life because I learned to see local politics and how they affect everyone. And every meeting since then, it has pushed me to become the person I am today. You have played a role in my drive to support and fight for what I believe is right. And finally, thank you for making this school board race such an easy one to win.
Thank you. Ron Springman and then Sophia Crawford.
The 9.2, 9.4, junior books purchasing. I hope any books banned by this state or the district, which educates students about DEI and critical race theory, will once again become available to our young people's minds. In the mid-1950s, I personally grew up in a segregated community where racial slurs were an everyday affair. I was even condemned by some white kids for choosing a black friendship who was constantly attacked by racist kids because of their bigot parents. Our country cannot go back to the Jim Crow era, which is what many white supremacist MAGA bigots want, many of which were involved in the J6 insurrection on behalf of a man who continues to claim an unproven stolen election and then pardons those very bigoted criminals. And just like the young lady said, you people support the bigotry in this community. And I've seen it with my own eyes.
Thank you. Sophia Crawford?
Hi, my name is Sophia Crawford, and I go to Venice High School. I first just want to say I loved hearing about the Sky Ranch new school being built. I'm just so happy that that's going so well for those students. Today, I will be speaking on Agenda 10.1 regarding the quote-unquote raise that teachers will be receiving. As I'm sure everyone here knows, Florida is ranked number 50 in teacher pay out of all the states, and Sarasota is one of the largest counties in Florida. But public school teachers' salaries are slowly decreasing due to funding being shuffled around, as if those funds for those teachers are not the difference between having a babysitter or getting gas to drive to work or buying supplies for a classroom. Teachers that have worked for Sarasota County for over 10 years are projected to get about a $1,200 raise added to their yearly salary. With 196 teacher workdays, that comes out to about $6.12 a day added and 88 cents an hour. Only 88 cents added for each hour of educating children, creating lesson plans, tutoring, providing support, and so much more. Young teachers so much less. Only about a 0.5% increase on salary, 0.5%. And this is the best option that they were given. Along with that, teacher benefits and packages are lessening, causing them to have to pay more out of pocket for basic medical needs. It's time we start treating our teachers with respect and give them the pay they deserve, and it's about time we had a change of scenery. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that concludes the public comment on the agenda items. We'll move now to item 7.1. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I have a motion by Mr. Edwards. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mrs. Barker. Any comments? Seeing none, please vote on item 7.1. I'll try to slow down my speed, Mrs. Tompkins. So. And the motion passes 5-0. Moving on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I have a motion by Mr. Edwards. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mrs. Barker. Are there any comments? Seeing none, please vote on the motion before you, which is 8.1 on the consent agenda. And the motion passes unanimously. Next up is 10.1 personnel salary increase. Mrs. O'Day, could you please present this item?
Yes, Madam Chair. Item 10.1 is the approval of the 2026-2027 classroom teacher and other instructional personnel salary increase. This allocation was approved by the legislator earlier this summer. The legislator designated the funds to provide salary increases to full-time classroom teachers and certified pre-kindergarten teachers with at least 10 years of full-time teaching experience in a Florida public school. The legislator also designated the implementation of these funds as a financial urgency, requiring districts to begin collective bargaining by July 15th and resolve any disputes by July 30th to avoid going to impasse. Through collective bargaining with our partners at SCTA, we've reached an agreement that employees who meet the eligibility criteria will receive their contractual 0.5% salary increase from these funds, plus an additional equal share salary adjustment from the remaining funds. Based on our current estimation, we have about 1,400 eligible classroom teachers. The additional equal share is currently estimated to be around 1,200 per employee. Instructional employees not meeting the eligibility criteria will still receive their contractual 0.5% increase, but not from these funds. SCTA has already held their ratification vote and approved this MOU. So tonight I ask for your approval of this agenda item.
Thank you very much. That was 10.1. I'm sorry, did I skip? Well, you presented 10.1. Or do you want me to, can we move forward 10.1 or do you want me to go back to 8? You say I skipped something?
9.24, was that in the, were these in the consent agenda? Yeah, they were in.
Okay, sorry. We were just a question on the item, sorry about that clarification. It was just a clarification on the 9.24, so under board. So those are good. I apologize. We'll go back to 10.1, which is what was presented, the personnel salary increase. Is there a motion?
I move that the Sarasota County School Board approve the 26-27 classroom teacher and other instructional personnel salary increase.
I have a motion by Mr. Edwards. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mrs. Rose. Are there any comments? Mr. Edwards, you can present.
So the public comments on this agenda item could not be more truthful. I would say I also heard a public comment about teacher retention and reasons why teachers are leaving. Connect the dots. But I would also challenge what was said as well in public comments. This belongs as a Tallahassee issue. This is not a school board issue. This has to do with the voucher program. This has to do with private school vouchers where folks who could afford sending their children to private school are getting those funds. This has to do with charter schools that own their own for-profit management companies, and that is legislatively allowable. It is sad to me that the Senate was really close to giving some corrections to the voucher program, and the House killed it. I was told by our local delegation there's no appetite for that. So I think what I'm saying, I'm glad to hear a lot of students in the boardroom saying elections matter. Elections matter. And I will be supporting this agenda item.
Thank you. Mrs. Barker.
I just wanted to thank you all for acknowledging and understanding what our teachers do and what they deserve. And I couldn't agree with you more, and I look forward to working together to push for appropriate compensation for our staff because they absolutely deserve it. So thank you.
Any additional comments? Well, I want to thank the team for working with this. It was a narrow year when historically we've been able to actually provide historical raises since I've been on this board. I do believe everyone wants to see our great teachers be supported and our staff be supported and working within the means of which we have. So I will be supporting this. I also look forward to a future workshop. I think a lot of these conversations, there's a lot of really needing to understand what's in that contract. And in a future workshop, we'll be diving into as it exists so that the public and the board and incoming board members can understand as it is right now so that will set them up to support teachers, support our staff, and understand how you could really build them up. But really, if you don't understand what's in the contract, it makes it very difficult when you go to negotiation. So I do look forward to that conversation. If there are no additional comments, please vote on the item before you. And the motion passes unanimously. That concludes any business items. And now we're going to move to the hearing of citizens on the general comments. Each speaker will state their full name and county of residence for the record, and we'll have up to 2 minutes. A timer will signal when 1 minute remains. Please conclude promptly when the timer ends. Respect again for divergent opinions shall be recognized for all speakers. Audience members are requested to listen quietly and respectfully. Outbursts, applause, or other interruptions that disrupt the meeting will not be tolerated. Any person that interferes with the expeditious or orderly process of the meeting after first being warned that such continued interference will result in removal will be removed. There are speakers in the room behind me that allow board members to hear public comments when stepping away from the dais. When your name is called, please approach the podium. If you choose to pass, you will forfeit your time to address the board. As a reminder, recording cannot be played during your 2 minutes of public comment. We appreciate your cooperation, and we will begin with the first speaker, Matthew Montanovan, and then Reina Bazzini.
Just for the record, it's pronounced Montalban. And good evening, everyone. I'm a Sarasota resident and a candidate for Congress. First, I want to congratulate Beth and Megan on being elected to the Sarasota School Board. They're going to have an important job because strong schools are fundamental to the strength of this community and to our nation. But as I run for Congress, I want to talk about the federal level in education. Education is primarily a state and local responsibility, but Congress does control federal educational funding and writes the laws that determine how those dollars are used. First, we need a strong and accountable federal funding for our schools. That includes Title I funding for students who need additional support and make sure federal dollars are reaching the classrooms and students that they are intended to serve. Title I is specifically designed to help provide students with fair, equitable, and high-quality education and close achievement gaps. Second, special education is a priority. Congress created IDEA, and it provides federal funding to states for special education and related services. We will need to strengthen that federal commitment and make sure students with disabilities receive the services they are entitled to. We need to invest in career and technical education. I think those pathways for students to can graduate with skills, credentials, apprenticeships, and direct path into good paying careers. Well, it's going by very fast. If taxpayers are sending money to a program, we should be able to measure whether that program is actually helping students. If it works, we should strengthen it. If it doesn't, we should change it. That's how I believe Washington can strengthen education by providing the right resources.
Thank you very much. Reina Bazzini and Tracy Lipton.
My name
Now, hold on one second. Can we just get everyone quiet so we can hear the speaker? Thank you so much. Go ahead.
I'm sorry? Okay.
Asking them to be quiet.
My name is Ronna Bazzini, and I am a Sarasota resident. Good evening, Ms. O'Day, board members, and Mr. Duggan. For the outgoing board members, I wish you best, and I wish you good luck, whatever paths you choose to follow. For the incoming board members, I wish you the wisdom you will need for the new position in which you will fill. I also owe you a huge, and the community, a huge thank you to the new board members. I've been waiting 10 years for this. I don't know even how to say this, but thank you, thank you, thank you. I will no longer have to be attending school board meetings. I will now have the time to go back to my previous career, which I've been putting off for many, many years, pole dancing.
I'll give you a point of privilege just because Ms. Bazzini has been coming here for 10 plus years. So if everyone can, we'll bring the decorum back, but I'll allow it. Tracy Lifton, and next is Dean Davidson.
Not follow that. How do you follow that? Tracy Lifton, Sarasota County. Hey, y'all. Since 3 of you have had a reign of terror on the children of Sarasota County and the public education system itself concluded, I decided I do not want to give you much of my time and energy on a thoughtful farewell, as my time and energy is not deserved to 3 of y'all. Really, what can I say that I haven't said so many times before? As well as I am sure that my many friends and activists sitting in these chambers will speak my words for me. However, there has long been a song that's spoken to my heart and was a favorite from my childhood. And as I peruse my mind and the memories of your wasted years upon this dais and the detriment that y'all and a husband or two, Dan Miller, Christian Ziegler, have caused that will now be rectified by the amazing new school board members voted in by Democrats, Republicans, independents, and MPAs alike who understand the definition of every student every day. This melody just keeps playing over and over in my mind, and it sums up my feelings so properly, as this particular song is truly about endings. So I'll conclude by quoting a row from this song that is also heartfully dedicated to Teresa DeWitt and Michelle Posey, and the ditty goes, na 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 na, na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye.
Thank you very much. Dean Davidson and Cassie Jewell.
I do this every time. Oh, I won't touch it anymore. Okay. Hi, Dean Davidson, Sarasota County. Bridget, Karen, and Robin, how good it is to see your days of terror finally come to an end. How good it is to know that this board can finally return its attention to the promise made to Sarasota County's children. Every student, every day. For far too long, our public schools have been political battlegrounds. Students became talking points. Teachers became targets. Controversy overshadowed education. Now, Sarasota County has chosen something different. We will defend our public schools instead of dismantling them, support educators instead of attacking them, and witness growth instead of demolition. We will have leaders who genuinely want to improve the lives of our children. No more culture wars, no more political theater, no more manufactured outrage, no more drama, no more hypocrisy. And all I have to say is, I really hope that Dan Miller, your husband, Karen, has a nice safe space and that he's using it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cassie Jewell and Sally Sells.
Hello, Cassie Jewell, mom of 2 in the district. Sorry, I've lost my voice at this point. What a great meeting. I'm so glad to see students back in the room tonight and also happy that I could work today instead of being out for the 10 a.m. meeting. Super exciting. The opening today of Color Guard and Band felt so incredibly appropriate given the outcome of Tuesday's election. I couldn't help but dance. It feels like we've been floating on cloud 9 for the last 2 days, and it felt like the best celebration, opening a new chapter for Sarasota County schools. This county has had enough of extremist activity, tabloid fodder, and moms for no one else's liberty. We've had enough of your hatred, your Christian nationalist ideals snaking their way into our public school system like the devil himself while you pull prayer into the room. Bring back the books, the attention to students in schools, and lunches and aftercare programs, teacher pay, retention, and security, the budget that makes sense. Pay our teachers for Christ's sake. I'm saddened to see local parents encouraging the public to pull their kids out of all of our schools in favor of private charter to further destroy our public ed system in an attempt to send the liberals a strong message after the election results. I hope not to see any sitting board members echo that same sentiment on your way out on social media. You have lost your grip on our county, community members, and our children, and don't think for a moment that your legacy will be anything but scandal, distraction, and failed political springboards. I cannot wait to see what a new board of Liz Barker, Tom Edwards, Beth Mayberry, Megan Teneman, and very hopefully Jimmy Glover are able to accomplish as a real team. Sorry. Every student, every day is a slogan for this lot, you 3 in the center. Robin, I feel like you truly voted with your conscience when you were the lone holdout of the Powerpuff Girls, voting with the community, Tom and Liz, to allow students back in this boardroom. You showed a backbone, and that it doesn't always have to be an angry 3-way. I sincerely hope to see more of this support over the next few months so that our community.
Thank you. Sally Sells and Paulina Testerman.
First and foremost, let me apologize for my rather Cheshire cat-like grin. For some reason, I just haven't been able to wipe the smile off my face for the last 48 hours. My name is Sally, no sales sells. Oh wait, that's the name your husband calls me on social media, Mrs. Rose. Let me try again. My name is Sally Sells, and I'm a vulgar slob. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That's another name your husband calls me out in the community, Mrs. Rose. My name is Sally Sells, Manatee County resident and parent to a Sarasota County school student. My bestie told me not to be petty or to gloat, but we all know she's a far better person than I am, and I can't hold myself to that kind of standard. I am here today to say thank you. Thank you to the candidates, thank you to all the volunteers, and of course, a huge thank you to all the voters. Please remember we are not done at this point. We still have one more seat to go. Jimmy Glover's race ended in a three-way split. Settle down, Bridge. We're not talking about that kind of three-way. Mrs. Ziegler and Mrs. Rose, the community has rejected you, rejected your ideas, rejected your policies, rejected your ideology, and rejected your husbands. You have sown hate and division into our community, and the people have seen right through you. You claim that your side was full of joyful warriors, but that is not the case from what I witnessed on Election Day. I was personally pointed at, mocked and ridiculed by people manning the Republican tents. And I also witnessed your husband, Mr. Ziegler, come and berate a 20-year-old volunteer out there all day on his own in the sun. I cannot wait for the future. I cannot wait to not know the names of our school board's partners. I cannot wait to end these culture wars. And most of all, I cannot wait to be bored at these school board meetings. Oh, and guess what? It turns out there is a cure for Ziegler derangement syndrome. It's voting. A huge thank you to all the voters of Sarasota County for voting out the circus at last.
Thank you, Paulina Testerman and Dr. Jill Lewis-Spector.
Paulina Testerman. In 2024, Sarasota voters sent Mrs. Ziegler, Mrs. Rose, and Mrs. Marinelli a message. Apparently, it needed to be written in crayon. The election of Liz Barker and Tom Edwards should have taught you three something important. When it comes to public education, Sarasota voters are perfectly capable of thinking for themselves. They are not trained monkeys who obediently vote for whichever candidate their party places in front of them. They can recognize qualifications. They can recognize competence. But instead of learning from 2024, you three doubled down. Fear-mongering, accusations, personal attacks, more manufactured outrage, more division. It was a gamble. You sat at the poker table, misread the room, ignored the odds, and somehow convinced yourself you were holding the winning hand. Then you pushed every chip into the middle and went all in on the same politics that voters had already rejected. And just as smugly leaned forward to collect the pot, Sarasota threw down a royal flush on Tuesday night. Republicans, Democrats, NPAs, parents, teachers, neighbors, the message was remarkably simple. We are exhausted by your brand of politics. So by all means, blame Republican leadership, blame Jack Brill, blame turnout, blame strategy, messaging, find whatever scapegoat makes Tuesday night easier to digest. But if you're genuinely searching for the reason your candidates lost, save yourselves the consulting fees. Buy a mirror. Lastly, Mrs. Ziegler, if I was Michelle Posey and Teresa DeWitt, I'd be pretty pissed off. They backed you when you ran in 2022, and on election night, where were you for them? My understanding is that you were backing with Byron Donalds. You guys appeared considerably more interested in him than your own candidates here locally. My teenage daughter has a term for women perpetually seeking attention of the most powerful person in the room. Pick me. Presumably, there's yet another political appointment you're hoping for. It would have to be an appointment, right? Since neither of you are like.
Thank you, Dr. Jill Lewis-Spector and JT Pryor.
Jill Lewis-Spector, Sarasota taxpayer. Good evening, board members, Ms. O'Day and Mr. Duggan. First, sincere congratulations to Beth Mayberry and Megan Teneman on their victories in this week's election, and to Jimmy Glover and Heidi Brandt, who advanced to November's election. No matter that outcome, I'm incredibly optimistic about what our new school board will achieve, knowing it will put students, teachers, and staff above partisan politics. It will keep the 6 p.m. meeting times, allowing more voices to be heard, especially those of students and parents. It will respect these voices and listen and respond to concerns and suggestions. It will listen, really listen, to marginalized students who don't feel safe at school due to recent board majority policy decisions. It will respect teachers' voices who say they're self-censoring what they teach, knowing this is harmful to students. The new board will ensure professional development to provide teachers tools to respond professionally to political coercion and threats. The new board will be fiscally responsible stewards of the budget, prioritizing students' academic programs, curricula, and mental health needs essential for student resilience and success. It will ensure that Christian nationalism will be kept out of our public schools and will uphold Florida's constitutional obligation to public education for all students. It will ensure policies protecting student privacy, including those that prevent providing anyone with a student's immigration status. This new board will head to Tallahassee as a team, advocating for a level playing field for public schools, competing with voucher-funded private schools. Its members will respect each other and together will work to maintain our A-rated school district. They won't bend without a fight to political demands from Tallahassee. Thanks to Sarasota's voters, the period of an ineffective and disrespectful.
Thank you. J.T. Pryor and Ron Springman.
Good evening, JT Pryor, proud progressive Christian minister serving Sarasota County, and wow, we have so many reasons to celebrate tonight. You could feel the energy liven up when our JROTC students were back and presenting the colors, and the pride that beamed from all this boardroom when the Sarasota High students played their wonderful quartet in the arts moment. We could also take a moment to celebrate the work of Sky Ranch School's first year. All of these things pointed our focus back to the reasons that we care about our public schools, the reasons why so many of us come to meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. And all of these things were possible because the board voted to change its mind to bring meeting times back to a time when students, parents, and working people could attend. So to Mr. Edwards, thank you for your leadership to see how much was missing from not having our students in schools represented in this boardroom. To Ms. Marinelli and Ms. Barker, thank you for voting along with this motion. I do feel for the first time in a long time hopeful about all of the good things that we did know all along were happening in the schools, but we were just a bit distracted. The only difference is now that we can celebrate it as a community with the students in the room with us. I hope this signals a new direction where we leave behind petty politics and get back to what really matters, making a better education for all of our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Ron Springman and Lisa Shore.
The movement is finally crumbling, and as a result of the corrupt, inept, lame clown running our country into the ground and trying to bankrupt America, just as he did several of his businesses. The voters have spoken, and they are getting smarter. Instead of having the three candidates endorsed by you disgraced partisan clowns that have chosen those who will bring our community together again. Robin, we no longer have to listen to your whining voice infringing on speakers' First Amendment rights by calling point of order when the speaker spoke against Trump when he was running for office. Are you asking Ziegler to remove a speaker because it's your way or the highway? Or watching you tear up proposals written by Mr. Edwards and the entire public, in front of the entire public, see you call the public disrespectful. Bridget, I hope you and your despicable husband are doing all you can to obstruct justice because accountability is on the horizon. I'm so glad I would never have to explain to my children when they would ask, Daddy, why do you want to have another woman instead of Mommy? Or ask their mom, you would be with another woman and share her with Daddy? I'm sure the public will be hearing more on you in the future. Karen, you said at your last board meeting you aren't going anywhere, but when you lost your last election bid, you were nowhere to be seen for the remainder of your tenure. Yet you say you are proud of being nominated by one of the most corrupt governors ever. You and the public will see over the next 2 years all the drama we had endured in the past 6 years will be a forgotten nightmare. Take your millions and stick them where the sun don't shine.
Well, thank you for that. Lisa Shore and Mary Holmes.
Finally, after 5 difficult and divisive years, there's an end in sight. With the board majority changing in November, we have an opportunity to put the focus where it belongs, educating our students. Many of us remember what began here in 2021 when Mrs. Ziegler and the Moms for Liberty brought the culture wars into our schools in this boardroom. We remember them encouraging parents to send their kids to school to engage in non-cooperation and disruption. These aren't simply recollections. We have the videos if you'd like to see them and the screenshots. In 2024, voters began pushing back with the elections of Edwards and Barker. Sarasota voters sent, in 2026, Sarasota voters sent an even clearer message, rejecting 2 Moms for Liberty candidates and another candidate whose financial history raised serious questions about fiscal responsibility, or rather irresponsibility. Heidi Brandt, another candidate with Moms for Liberty ties, now heads to a November runoff where hypocrisy will once again be on the ballot. Those of us who've spent years advocating for public education will continue the work we've been doing, protecting and strengthening our public schools. For too long, culture wars consumed time and energy that should have been devoted to education. Now we can turn our attention to the substantive issues facing our schools. That means demanding transparency and accountability for taxpayer dollars going to charter schools and private school voucher programs. It means fighting for adequate teacher salaries and addressing per pupil funding that, if you adjusted for inflation, we're getting less than we got in 2006. How can that be? These shouldn't be partisan issues. Taxpayers deserve to know how their money is spent. Teachers deserve competitive compensation, and every child in Sarasota County deserves a well-funded, high-quality public education. After 5 years of fighting culture.
Thank you very much. Mary Holmes and then Jenna Holmes.
Good evening, board members, and my sincere condolences to Superintendent Connor. My name is Mary Holmes, and I'm a recently retired teacher of nearly 40 years. Roses are red, violets are blue. We're finally rid of 3 of you. No more consorting with your buds, the Proud Boys, nor public speculation about deviant sex and toys. The vile accusations known to be wild and lies, our community tired of it, thus all the bye-byes. So much drama, notoriety, all fake news. Board meetings should be much more of a snooze. Our new board gets it. Focus on the kids, help win the fight. Much more important than nightlight here for a soundbite. But changes come, the voters spoke, and so we all are so proud to be woke. No more pretending to listen with your predictable 3-2 split. We're about to have 5 awesome board members, and our community is lit. All poetry aside, I feel a tremendous sense of pride after Tuesday's election. The voters overwhelmingly declared enough. Enough self-important drama, enough self-perpetuating culture wars and non-existent issues. The current board, with its 3 blind mice, it's a thing of the past. To quote someone you 3 seem to worship, you're fired. Megan and Beth, along with Jimmy in November, will join forces with Tom and Liz to create a school board with purpose, empathy, and focus on our student. Lord knows our community deserves it. In conclusion, I leave you with this thought. Na 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 na, na 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 na, hey, 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 goodbye. Na 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 na, na 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 na, hey, 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 goodbye. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Jenna Holmes and Elizabeth Bornstein.
Good evening, board members, and my condolences to Superintendent Connor. Oh, how lovely it is to be able to say good evening again. I'm Jenna Holmes. I'm a proud parent, citizen, educator, and product of the Sarasota County school system. Well, y'all, we did it. We won. How beautiful is it that our community came together to put an end to the chaos, political circus, and culture wars that we have begrudgingly endured for years as a community. We, the people, have spoken, and it feels so good. Beth Mayberry and Megan Teneman are more than qualified, and I'm so excited to welcome them to the board. I'm also very excited to get Jimmy Glover to the finish line on November 3rd. Just think, no more sex scandals, no more hateful propaganda, no more ties with Proud Boys or innuendos about sex toys. Bridget, I believed in you at the beginning of your campaign. I met you for the first time at Karen's campaign launch party. I voted for you. I have always treated you directly with respect. What a disappointment. I can say I've learned from my mistakes these past years, but can you? Good luck to whoever you terrorize next. Karen, you're my middle school principal. You had my back as an educator then. I am literally a direct product of yours. I have never publicly spoken out against you until right now. I campaigned for you, I believed in you, I voted for you, and you betrayed me and my community. You became someone I no longer recognize or can reason with. That hurts. You left your community. I would have expected more poise and grace from you, even if you are a sore loser. Is this the legacy you dreamed of? Anywho, not sure how to close this out, but I am sure that Megan and Beth will be excellent board members with integrity who will improve our schools and be transparent with our community. They are people who have no fear in being held accountable. Robin, Bridget, and Karen, I know how much you will miss me, so watch us as we keep.
Thank you. Elizabeth Borenstein and then Julie Forster.
Greetings, board members, board attorney, deputy superintendent, Ms. Tompkins. I'm thinking of Superintendent Connor and his family on the passing of his father. I'm Elizabeth Borstein. I'm a parent of a student in the district. I'm also a level 2 volunteer. And well, it's great to be back. Many of us are grateful for the 3 of you voting last month to bring these meetings back to 6 p.m. when people, especially the students, parents, teachers, and the guardians can actually attend. I'm still shaking my head that you moved these meetings to 10 a.m. in the first place, intentionally keeping stakeholders out. Well, let's stay focused on the positive. Honestly, I thought the 6 p.m. meetings would be the big win I would be celebrating here with you tonight. Well, this week brought more positives. How grateful and relieved I was Tuesday to learn 2 amazingly qualified former teachers, parents, and grandparent and public school advocates, Megan Teneman and Beth Mayberry, will be joining Tom Edwards and Liz Barker on the school board in November. Also setting the intention for Jimmy Glover to join them. What a tremendous win for our students, teachers, staff, administrators, schools, and our community as a whole. Truly, we've had enough of the politics in our schools. Enough of the chaos and hypocrisy once and for all. How refreshing to learn, to focus on learning and education. You may remember the sign I carried for the past 4 years since ZEM and those times too. Restore our trust. Well, guess what? Trust is being restored. It is hopeful. It is so hopeful for every student every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Julie Forrester and Carol Lerner.
I'm Julie Forrester, parent of Sarasota County students. I can't begin to express what a relief it is that the extremist reign of terror that has taken over the school board is finally coming to an end. What a breath of fresh air it will be to welcome 2 new board members whose priorities will center on students, teachers, academic achievement, and actually improving our schools. Imagine that. What a concept. For the past 4 years, the extremist majority on this board embraced divisive politics because you believed that that outrage would manufacture support from your base. Well, on Tuesday, Sarasota responded, just not quite the way you intended. Where you divided us, we united. Where you gave us culture wars and chaos, we chose compassion and community. You gave us political theater, we chose competent leadership and qualified candidates. You gave us outrage and division, and instead, we showed up with love, unity, and integrity. And boy, did Sarasota show up. Students, parents, teachers, Democrats, Republicans, MPAs showed up and put our schools ahead of partisan loyalties. To the outgoing board majority, I want to thank you for leaving this community more engaged, more organized, and more determined than it was 4 years ago. You inadvertently activated this community. Now, after years of Sarasota making national headlines for school board culture wars and personal scandals, the next chapter can be radically different. Instead, the headlines will be about how deep red Sarasota County, the birthplace of Moms for Liberty, also became where Moms for Liberty went to die. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol Lerner and Julie London.
Good evening, Carol Lerner, Sarasota County resident. Thank you, 3 board members, 3 brave board members. I guess only really one was brave, but for changing the time to 6 p.m. It is wonderful seeing so many parents and students here tonight. And boy, I didn't realize how much I missed the music, how great that was. Congratulations to Beth Mayberry and Megan Tennemon on their double-digit election victory, and to Jimmy Glover as he advances to the November 3rd election. This election said a strong yes to strong public schools and a very strong no to culture wars. Now we can truly make Sarah's school board meetings boring again. Now, I've been attending these meetings like Ronna Bazzini for about 10 years, and I am tired. And I'm gonna take what Tom Edwards said up. I'll still be coming to meetings, but probably not as many. I'm gonna put my focus on Tallahassee, because you can have the best board in the country, but your hands are still gonna be tied. You can have the best administration, and we do, and the best teachers, but their hands are tied. I'm setting up a Substack, and I'm calling it SCAMS. And it's an acronym. The S stands for swindles, the C stands for corruption, the A stands for use of power, the M stands for misconduct, and the S stands for self-dealing, because that's what goes on in Tallahassee, and education is the playground for all those things. So
Thank you. Julie London and then Beth Mayberry.
This is going to be kind of boring compared to everybody else's great speeches. I think those kids are so gosh darn amazing. As much as I've come to these meetings, I am still in awe of how well they speak and how much they care. This also gives me an opportunity to thank Ms. O'Day. You are behind the scenes. You are working so hard, and your staff, and again, what you guys created was nothing short of a miracle. So thank you to all the people behind the scenes. And I kind of want to give a shout out to Kelsey Wheely as well. She has been incredible. I did want to add, we have to, of course, congratulate Beth Mayberry, who has been my best friend, and Megan Tennemon, who is just so smart and so incredibly kind. They will listen to everybody's voices. I wanted to quickly ask about what is happening with the sale of the school administrative building, if it's going on, if we could bring that up at the next board meeting, and if you've been in touch with the county about all their empty space. So thank you so much for everything. I will not be pole dancing.
Thank you. Next is Beth Mayberry and then Xander Moritz.
Mayberry, Sarasota County. My thoughts are with Mr. Connor at this time. I want to take this moment to honor the people out here in the gallery who've been coming to school board meetings when they should have been at work, while they should have been at home with their children, when they should have been managing their obligations, or while they were kept from doing whatever it is that enriches their daily lives. It's been a challenge to stay engaged in spite of the attitudes and actions of board members who don't choose to listen or broaden their outlooks or feel compassion for the students they're meant to serve. And I applaud every one of you who has stood at this podium during public comment or commenting on agenda items and feeling that you're talking to a 3-2 majority who has no interest in what you have to say. I want to honor the students who have had to make the hard decisions about their priorities, from attending class to attending these meetings, who tried to understand the policies being passed and the resolutions being made by a board that would never have to live by any of these policies or resolutions. I want to honor the families who've tried to get the very best education for their children while disagreeing with many of the principles espoused by the majority board members, and who saw their children being less welcomed, get less support, and be told they were less because of the lack of compassion from some of these board members. And I want to honor the school staff that watched these videos after coming home, who didn't get a chance to express their opinions and concerns, but who had to live with every decision made by that 3-2 majority. I will say a small thank you to the members leaving the board in November for their service, even though so much of that service was to self instead of service to our community. That's what keeps my thanks small. While I've experienced the pain of campaign and can understand the challenge of leading, I still believe that education requires compassion, tolerance, an open mind, and empathy, which I've not always seen on the dais. I'm hopeful all of this will change in November. Thanks to all of you who helped to make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you. And Xander Moritz?
3 years ago, this room became famous for all of the wrong reasons. Sarasota became a national example of what happened when a school board became more about building political careers than building great public schools. We saw what happens when cruelty became the strategy, when conspiracy became the standard, and when classrooms became the stage for political theater. Millions of people saw Sarasota at our worst, so I'm very excited to show this country what we look like at our best. On Tuesday, voters changed the direction of the school board and our entire community for good. They elected Megan and Beth Mayberry, 2 public school teachers, defeating 2 political activists. And in District 1, Jimmy Glover finished first and is going to win the runoff in November. For the first time since this extremist political takeover of the board, the activists that have made our school district a SCS are gone. And that is important to understand correctly. This was not Democrats defeating Republicans. It was not one political faction finally gaining enough power to take revenge against the other. Republicans, Democrats, and NPAs across Sarasota County came together to reject not one another, but political extremism in our public schools. They rejected the politics represented by activists like Bridget Ziegler. That did not happen overnight. For 3 years, I have, alongside 12-year-olds and 93-year-olds, churches, neighborhood groups, civics organizations, and families from every corner of this county. People who disagreed about 1,000 things decided that public education was worth protecting together. And that is why this moment matters. We are not leaving anyone behind. We are not replacing one Sarasota with another. Everyone is a part of the future of Sarasota schools. Political extremism is not. 3 years ago, Sarasota showed the country how far a school board culture war could go. 2 days ago, Sarasota showed the country how a community can end one. Now, we get to show the country what happens when students take back their schools.
Thank you very much. That concludes public comment. Now we will move to board member comments. I will open it up to any speakers. Mrs. Rose.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say congratulations to the school board members-elect. Well done.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Barker, are you? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I also, in addition, of course, to being very grateful for all of your support over these last couple of years, I wanted to shout out our district because we've done some remarkable things literally just in the last couple of days. And I don't know how many of you saw U.S. World and News Report. Pineview School ranked the #1 school in the state of Florida. That is Sarasota. That is who we are, that is who we are becoming, and that is who we will continue to be together. We also recognized another statewide accomplishment with our School Counselor of the Year for the state of Florida, and just this afternoon we welcomed a remarkable group of law enforcement officers to our ranks. So I am just incredibly grateful to be here and be part of it. Thank you, Ms. O'Day. Thank you to the team. Thank you to all of you who care so deeply about our schools. The future is very, very bright.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edwards.
Just to echo a couple of things that have already been said, it was absolutely exciting to see the students back in the boardroom. I loved the music. I loved the color guard. And the point behind this is get the word out. We want you all back. We want all the students to come back. So that's the rationale. Plus, we love seeing them and we love hearing the music. The other thing that I would want to share, and it's sort of just a personal perspective. I followed the superintendent and his team around on the first day of school. And what was interesting is just my observations of the students, the parents, the teachers, the excitement and the love and the enthusiasm is palpable. And what really struck me about that was the disconnect of what has been discussed in the boardroom for such a long time. And it doesn't celebrate as much and as often as possible, which is hopefully something that we can really absorb and get that word out. Because nowhere did I see anyone that was unhappy or unwelcome or uncelebrated, or it was phenomenal. And Mrs. O'Day did talk a little bit about the Booker experience, which I also was a fly on the wall of both of those things. I have to tell you, she says go to the Booker Middle School site and look at that video, because what I experienced, I walked out of there, I felt 30 years younger. Those kids have so much energy, and they were so excited to celebrate both of the teachers at MAE for their first A, and how proud they were of that work. And the kids at Booker Middle and the new principal that's there, and the enthusiasm and the dance off and all the beach balls flying in the air. It was so much fun. So please do check out that video. Mrs. Barker did talk about the 11 new officers that were sworn in this afternoon. That was amazing. I want to thank Mrs. O'Day for filling in. She did a great job. Yes? Yes. And I do have to conclude with just, unfortunately, a little housekeeping, a little business. It is a statement that I've had prepared by our school board council. I need to address a serious matter involving the reported unauthorized public release of the Holtman-Joshi report while the related investigation remains active. Florida law provides that complaints and materials relating to the investigation of a complaint against a public school employee are confidential and exempt from the public disclosure until the preliminary investigation is concluded or is no longer active. Florida law also provides penalties for willful and knowing violations of public records laws. Based on what has been reported to me, fewer than 10 hard copies of that report existed. No electronic copy was distributed, and 5 of the copies were provided to school board members. Because the investigation was active at the time of the disclosure and remains active to this day, this matter must be reviewed independently and appropriately. To avoid any conflict of interest, I will not ask the superintendent to investigate members of the school board. Instead, I will refer this matter to the Sarasota Police Department and request that an independent investigation be opened into the source of the disclosure. My purpose is not to prejudge, but to protect the integrity of the ongoing investigation. Also to uphold the law and preserve the public trust that we have in this board and the school district. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Marinelli.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to congratulate all of our schools and staff and departments for such a wonderful opening of school and the best 2 weeks. It was just almost flawless. We know we always have transportation issues. That's been going on for decades. But they were addressed quickly, and any kind of issue was addressed. So thank you all, and especially to the schools and all the staff. And I'd like to thank our community for all the support that they have shown to our schools and our staff for many years and this year, and all the wonderful things that they do for our Title I schools. And I was very glad to see the student performers and the junior ROTC, because it helped all of us to know where the flag is and all that, and they do such a wonderful job, and have our student rep back. And I'd also like to end with congratulations to Michelle Bocock for being the Florida Counselor of the Year. As a former counselor in our district, that is quite an honor. And to know that we've had in 3 years 2 Florida Counselors of the Year, Carmen Lawson from Sarasota Middle School, and then she went on to become like the National Counselor of the Year, traveling all over the United States, talking about the exemplary program that our counselors provide. And I just want to also say that's all part of the student services, which are our psychologists, social workers, nurses. It takes all of the support staff to help our students and help our teachers. So congratulations to Michelle, and also congratulations again to Carmen. That's quite an honor for Sarasota County School District. So thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Well, I also want to extend a congratulations to the school board members-elect. I will also echo Welland Park's first football game was so fun. I cannot express just the energy there, and Mr. G has done such an extraordinary job, and we talk about it a lot, but you really got to see on full display. Not a small lift when you're talking about a new school. I know we talked about Sky Ranch today, and so it's just really cool to see that culmination, and I just want to wish everyone a congratulations, because it was not, I know took a village to really lift that up, so, but it was a great way to start the year and kick off this preseason, technically, I believe, right? So, and they won. So next monthly work session is Tuesday, September 1st, following a special budget board meeting starting at 10 a.m. The public hearing to adopt final millage and budget meeting Tuesday, September 15th at 5:01 p.m., followed by the regular board meeting at 6 p.m. If there are no additional comments, without objection, we stand adjourned.